So as I said, it was mitigating this order block here. And as you can see, as it was coming down, it was retailing to the downside. You can see this huge gap here. Once that huge gap came in, they started retailing this market, retailing it down to the order block. So if you can see, this liquidity that was here was all retailers, and it was retailers here. So in this situation, we call it retailer versus retailer market, where the retailers are trading against the other retailers, and the other retailers are bringing in the liquidity into the market. So as we see this retailer movement here, and it's matching this one, this liquidity has to be taken. So as soon as it hit around about I think it was 320, I think it was 320, the signal was sent to buy NASDAQ at around this order block right here. So what was our first reaction from there? Our first reaction is that we had a very long pin. It was just a 5-minute pin, and we were able to close our TP. It did not hit our TP2 yet. So after it came there, it hit our TP, and then what it did was the London high was shifted from where it was here, and it was shifted here. So when this London high was shifted here, they came down. So immediately when they came down, they remember that they haven't taken out any liquidity on any side. At this point, they just created liquidity on the low and on the high. So this result basically spreaded this price here, and we were able to have the high here. So as soon as this market price shifted, you see, it's giving me a confluence that basically the closest liquid side will get taken out. You see, so that was that. And then it came, and then there was a pin here. There was a pin as soon as the New York Stock Exchange opened, 3:30. There was a pin. So that pin was taking out this buy-side liquidity, if you can notice that. And once it took out that buy-side liquidity, the market rushed. So at this point, it was reacting to the unemployment change, as it was negative for the United States, and then it brought down the market. So we bought here, and then we also sold here. So we bought and sold within a space of not even 2 hours, because this was from 220, and then we closed our trades at like 4:45, basically. Closed within 1 minute, and then we had our reaction. And then once the American session comes, we know we apply our ICT strategy, and then we'll start to see confluence. You saw confluence, it took out the high, it took out the low, and then once it took out the low, it was already within a premium block. So the price was gonna take the bigger side, which was the initial the NFP results, which were positive for the United States. So from this point, it went up. You see, so how you can tackle NFP is that it's always better to wait. You know, during if there's no confluence, you know, if maybe the price is not in an order block or any of that, it's always wise to wait. Wait for the results to get released. Once they get released, remember we are still in the London session when they get released, and there's still more volatility within the US session. So US session will have about 2 to 3 times more volatility than what we see in the London session. So if you get to an NFP and you don't know which direction to take, maybe the price is in the middle as well, is very confusing, you know, just wait for the results to drop. Wait for the results to drop. You will start to see the confluence, you know, once they start creating the low and the high. And then you will just have to take advantage in the New York session when it starts off an hour after NFP gets released. You see, so after this price got released, we had it coming all the way here. So right now this price is in an order block. Right now, this price is it's in this order area here. So as you can see, it has already reacted to that order block, and it came down a bit. So this come down here could just be a form of a formation, you see. So we ought to see the market price will likely jump up to somewhere here. They'll probably inflated it over the weekend, and then we'll start to see a reaction. And basically, when the Asian markets open, it will start selling. So we are expecting for a sell during the Asian session. Looking at this movement here and looking at where the order is and how the market is basically formed at this point. So we're looking for an open to jump here, and then we're gonna get a sell. So currently I won't be sleeping because I'm basically waiting for this setup here. So we're looking for the market to just go up a bit, come down, and then we're looking for a sell again. We're looking for a sell on that level, and most likely the market will inflate as Nasdaq usually inflates. So we're basically looking for a head and shoulders formation or even a double top formation. Would still do good after it reacts on that on that order block right there. So for our NAS, we're looking for a selling market, basically. We're looking for a selling market here. So basically around the open of New York, not the open of New York, or the open of the markets in London, which will be around like 1 a.m., we are to see NAS either create a formation throughout the Asian session or just sell while people are blind. So that's basically our Nasdaq setup. So let's go to NZD USD. So the same thing applied to NZD USD is the same. Yeah, it reacted to that order on NAS, and then yeah, we bought NZD USD as well. So yeah, we had a good time on NFP with these, and you can see that NFP has left all of these in a very nice order block.
Yeah.
Left all of these markets in a nice order block. And we're looking to take advantage of these order blocks here. Sorry about that, man. So these order blocks here are very confluential, and it would be wise to take very much advantage of those. So just like how when Nasdaq was reacting, it shaded down a bit. Sorry about that. It shaded down a bit. So we're looking for also the same double top formation to a head and shoulders. So since this market came down, stuck here, and then we always expecting some inflation, and then the low come down and sell off. Yeah, and a sell off just for them to collect all the liquidity from last week's NFP. So yeah, we'll be catching it right here on the head, looking to sell out throughout Monday. If this reaction does not happen on Monday, it will definitely happen on Tuesday, because they could sometimes just drag the market just to collect enough liquidity and collect enough orders to satisfy the market. See, so even if we look at it on the 1 hour, chart, if we look at it on the 1 hour chart, yeah, this is this is one of the levels. This is basically the first level, and this will be the second, and this will be the third level. So we're looking for a reaction by this first level here, depending on how the market opens. So if it opens and it's rushing up with momentum, it's basically gonna invalidate this order block and this one, and then it will basically rush all the way to close these gaps up till
Yeah, yeah,
this premium point here. See that? So this
yeah,
trade
I
here,
see it.
you see that? So this trade here is not at a premium level. We're just trying to catch it off a retracement as well. So if we apply our Fibonacci levels, we will get to see where exactly our market is. So it's basically at the 50% mark. And around
Yeah,
about, we know that around about 65, that's basically our retracement level. 65% is our retracement level. But we're getting a reaction here by the 50% level. Hence, I was saying that there could be a slight inflation into the market when it opens before it takes this, just so it can mitigate a few and then fill in the right percentages. And then we're looking for this market to come down. If it doesn't validate this 50% and this 65, we are looking for it to react by the discount to the premium. Most likely, the premium is where we'll get our reaction from. So NZD USD is also one of the pairs that we will be looking at within the coming week. So also on a recap of gold, last week's gold. So last week's gold on the NFP actually invalidated, and it punched through this gap. So NASA bought. So basically, all of these bought at that time. So within this gold, it was inflated to a point where it came back to this huge order block here. So we can see that this NFP that has passed was just here to bring prices to certain order blocks and have them mitigate in certain areas.
yeah. I was actually a bit confused, bro, because I remember last year you had told me like they move in opposite directions. You know, if
Yes,
one
yes,
buys, then the other one is a short sell.
yes, well, if the markets are in their conventional state, they do
Okay.
move in different directions. But since now there's a lot of, there's wars, there's whatever, there's a lot
Yeah.
of uncertainty within the market. The markets are not moving as normal how they should be because there's a lot of abnormal factors, that are
Yeah.
that are currently affecting it. So yeah, also it's also a form of manipulation, because they know that people believe that gold and NAS move in different directions. So they can manipulate you, since they know you think that, and then they
Yeah.
just send them all in the same directions, since already the people think that, you know. So
Mm.
when you do go into them, just read the chart, don't read what people say. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
you can always get manipulated based on what people believe in a higher context. So as you can see, it's in a very prominent 4-hour order block, which is the last final gap, which hasn't been mitigated before. And if you can see right here, we're having a retailer versus retailer situation. If you can see that, where the
Mm.
retailers are here, and then the retailers started pouring in here. So you can see that there's a lot of liquidity on this bottom side. There's a lot of liquidity on this bottom side. Having this react on this order block, shows that the liquidity could be getting ready to be swiped out of the market. So if we go back to our 1 hour, If we go back to our 1 hour, basically our head and shoulders was invalidated here by this candle, and it brought it here. So it's basically reacting like how the other markets are reacting. Our NZD and our NASDAQ, we're getting the same reaction. So from this point, we are looking for the market to open up on an inflation. So I think most of the markets will be inflated because of last week's NFP. So they will most likely jump, open up on a jump or so. And then from there, it will start reacting or start collecting orders and then start reacting. So we are also to sell this market, which is gold. So we're also selling gold. We're gonna sell it around this level, and we're looking for it to come back. We're looking to take our first TP here by this trend. Once it breaks the trend, see, once it breaks the trend, there's more confluence on the market going further. So once we have collected our trend, our break of trend TP, we know that okay, the market is going. If it's not, we trail. If the trails get stumped, you know, we walked away with something in our pocket at the end of the day, you know, hence why we do this risk management. So already you can see that it was just moving sideways. So it will continue moving sideways, collecting more orders, since it will be like around the Asian time, collecting more orders, and then probably get a reaction by the coming 12 hours or so. If that doesn't happen within the New York session, it will drag on until our our Tuesday. Yeah, so these are basically the markets that we're gonna be looking at for the next coming week, which is gonna be our NASDAQ. So you know that if you're trading NASDAQ, you're also trading German 30, France 40 as well. They all move the same. You're also trading US 30, you're also trading S&P, you know, you're also trading SPY, you know, you're trading all of those. Just with that, because those ones they follow each, because they mimic each other, because they're all controlled by the same thing. You see that. So for these markets, we're just looking at US Tech, your US 100. We're looking at NZD USD, and then we're looking at
Yeah.
gold. So if you know, all of these things are
Um,
USA based, you know, so we're basically focusing in on the American market. Yeah, to be honest.
all right. Bro, can you please if you could, please make a list for me for all of those ones that move the same, yeah? I just want to
Okay,
study
nah.
them.
Oh, okay, no problem. I'll also share it on the group. I'm gonna also share these signals on the group as well. Just after this session, as well as this video as well. You see, so
Yeah, I bet.
okay, so right now we only have about like 8 minutes. I'm suggesting that we close this one, open up a new one immediately. Just give me about 5 minutes because the video has to convert, and then we can look at that step index as well.
I bet.
Okay, so just join again on the same link after like 5 minutes, and then yeah, we'll just jump into those synthetics.
I bet.